beautiful, and welcome back to another video.
I bet if I give all my love, then nothing's gonna tear us apart.
Girl, I am so happy you are here today. We have a very exciting video. It's kind of like a part 2 to a video I filmed earlier. We're literally just gonna sit on my couch and we're going to chat. We're gonna chat everything about discipline, content creation, spirituality, God, relationships, everything like that. I really just wanted to chat, just like a big sister bestie talk. If this is your first time seeing me, hi, my name is Jazz. I create a lot of content on how to glow up, how to become your best self. So if that sounds like something you're focusing on this year, go ahead, hit the subscribe button. I would love to have you as part of this family so we can chit chat and we can all become our higher selves. Definitely go ahead and like this video. It tells the algorithm that this is a good video, and comment something down below. I would love to talk to you. First of all, how are we doing, girl? How are you doing? You going through it? Is everything okay? Put it down in the comments. Let's talk. I have been in a very weird phase. I feel like I'm in a transitionary phase. If we can just vent real quick. I was sitting out on my balcony. I was talking about this in the previous video. I felt like I just closed the chapter of a book. Not in a bad way. I just felt like, you know, I had been journaling about this woman that I saw in my head so clearly for so many years. 2-3 years ago, I started journaling about this woman. And then all of a sudden, I looked up and I was in my dream apartment and I was looking and I was journaling in the middle of the day because my job gives me freedom to do that in the middle of the day. My dog was running around, my belly was full, I liked how I looked in the mirror. I felt like I was affirming myself all day. I just finished a Pilates workout and I realized in that moment that the girl that I had been journaling about was here. I felt very proud of myself, but I also kind of felt like, you know, when you end a series and it's like, damn, what do I do now? I don't feel like, damn, what do I do now? It's almost just like, okay, what's next? Like I feel very proud of myself. So I think that's kind of why I put on my Instagram, and I put in the community post, I said, ask me anything. If you're not following me on Instagram, definitely follow me on there. On TikTok, I post a lot of content you won't see there. But I filmed like a get ready with me prior to this video. Went through all of the Instagram questions, which was really good. It was a really good girl chat. I also did my makeup. So if you're interested in this look, you wanna know what I used and everything like that, go ahead, check out that video. But the YouTube community post comments were so in-depth, they were so mature that I felt like putting on a different fit, sitting in my living room, and I'm like, I really want to have like a mature chit chat with them, and I want to create an entirely separate video on these questions specifically because they were so deep. And I don't know, I really wanted to talk to you today. So I hope you want to talk to me too. Let's just get into it. Definitely make sure you're interacting with my community post. There's a lot of questions, 52 to be exact. So let's just get into them. They're very good. Question number 1 from Paris is, what are some of your soft girl tips on staying positive and motivated in your career? I think her name is Jill. She just created a whole entire video on how to remain soft, how to use your feminine energy to start a business. And you know, I watch a lot of her videos, but this video really stuck out to me. And you know, I realized in hindsight a lot of the advice that she was giving I was doing in my own life. So I would highly recommend going and checking out that video. I will include it in the description down below. I think a lot of people confuse being soft with not working hard. Now, you're not gonna get anywhere in life without working hard, but the difference is working hard towards something that isn't aligned for you, that isn't in God's plan. You're working hard to get other people's approval. You're working hard to prove someone wrong. You're working hard to get back at an ex secretly. When you are truly in alignment with yourself, you're still working hard, but it feels softer. In anything that I do, I really try to think of, how can I make this more feminine? How can I make this more soft? What is the best thing that I can do for me right now? It is never being selfish. When you pour into yourself, when you invest in yourself, and you fill your cup up to 100%, people should only get the overflow of it. No one should ever deplete you. How do I remain soft in my career? I set really strict boundaries with other people, and I set strict boundaries within myself. I never do anything that feels against my gut feeling. You could throw $100,000 at me. I refuse to go against my gut feeling because I just feel like my gut feeling is attached to this God's plan for me. And anytime that I kind of veer off of it, I can feel my anxiety spike. I can feel me kind of veering off the path. I know when I'm on the right path that God has for me, and I know when I'm remaining soft, when I feel relief. When I left law school, I felt relief. When I left my toxic relationship, it was hard, but I felt relief. You know, when I turned down a brand deal that, you know, had a lot of money towards it, but I didn't feel like it aligned, I felt relief. You know, it's not always going to be the easiest decision, whatever it might be for you, but you are going to feel a sense of calmness. Your nervous system is going to be calm. I'm not saying that I never get stressed out, but if you are constantly stressed out at your job, in your relationship, in your friendship, whatever, you're always leaving it feeling negative, and you're just in the back of your mind, you don't know whether to just push through or not. That's going to be something that you're going to have to decide. But if you are constantly feeling that way, I don't think that that is what God puts you on this earth to be stressed out about all the time. Other little ways that I remain soft in my life is really prioritizing my morning routine, taking those 3 hours, whatever I have, 30 minutes in the hour to pour into myself before pouring into anybody else. I like to start and end my days the same. I like to start my days with gratitude journals. I like to end my day with the gratitude journal. Being grateful for everything that I have, because what I have right now, you know, I might want more. Past Jasmine once wanted this so badly. So those are some of the things off the top of my head that, you know, career-wise, you know, being grateful, setting boundaries, setting aside time to myself, filling up my cup up to 100%, listening to myself are all things that I do to remain soft. I thought this would be the perfect time to mention today's sponsor of today's video. I've talked about them before. I'm such a big fan, and I think you will be too. Thank you so much, Homag Glow, for sponsoring today's video and supporting this community. Okay, so right now, I'm not gonna lie to you. I feel like my entire world is out of whack because my place is dirty. It is clean. Like, if you see the background, it is clean, but let me show you up close how dirty my place is right now. That's the thing about me. Like, I will pick up, but when I feel like my place is dirty, I feel gross. I feel less productive. And especially because it's springtime, I just feel like my place is in such a need for a deep clean. I've mentioned before on your glow up journey, inviting a little bit more convenience in your life. And if part of your glow up journey is improving your home, is improving your space, which is like one of my favorite things to talk about, I would seriously consider getting a cleaning service for yourself, treating yourself, especially because it's springtime, your place needs a deep clean. So I'm so excited to talk to you about Homag Glow. If you never heard about Homag Glow before, Homag Glow is a 5-star cleaning service at affordable prices. And they make it super easy to schedule a cleaning. All you have to do is go on Homag Glow's website. You can choose a day and a time that you're looking to get your place cleaned, estimate the duration of your clean, and from there you can see all of the available cleaners in your area. You can schedule something as quick as this week, or maybe you're gonna get on a regular cleaning schedule to book somebody at the beginning or the end of the month. Really like Homag Glow because it puts the power in your hands. You can browse through photos, reviews of all of these background checked cleaners, and from there you can choose the right cleaner for you. Again, it's really easy to book a cleaning. All you're gonna do is go to homaglow.com/JazTurner. I'll also have the QR code for you right here. This is going to get you your first 3 hours of cleaning for $19. Your first 3 hours of cleaning for $19. I wanted to give some convenience to you. I wanted to take something off of your plate. I've personally had such an amazing experience with Homag Glow. I'm actually about to have my Homag Glow cleaners come in right now. So I'll show you an after right now of just how good of a job that they do. Y'all, I just got back to my apartment. Like, I can't tell you how much my mood is completely boosted every single time I come home to a clean space. It makes me feel more productive and just makes me feel better. Definitely go ahead, use this code, go to homaglow.com/JazTurner. You're gonna get your first 3 hours of cleaning for only $19. I think that's them right now. I'm about to go to a coffee shop and just let them do their thing. But thank you so much, Homag Glow, for sponsoring today's video and supporting this community. The next question, do I want marriage and a family one day? Would you ever consider doing a glow up university or writing your own ebook? So first question, do I want marriage and a family one day? Definitely want marriage. My boyfriend is the one, okay? Like, I ain't got another one in me. I got another one in me. Before we even started dating, we had a very serious conversation about marriage, about kids, about politics, about religion, about lifestyle, about timeline, about where we wanted to live, everything, you know, because you're gonna find that love is not enough. Love is not enough. You really got to get into the lifestyle aspect of things. So we talked about marriage. We talked about the timeline that we both saw ourselves married. I've always saw myself married. Now, kids, no. It's just a no. I've mentioned this a couple times on my platforms, but I don't know if I've outright said it. No, I don't want kids. I've honestly never really wanted kids. I have never really gotten baby fever. I'll see a cute baby and I'll think that's a cute baby. I don't think I want one. I think kids take an immense amount of sacrifice, an immense amount of commitment, immense amount of love. They deserve the most amount of love. And I think a lot of times people romanticize like the cute outfits, the baby showers. You're focusing on the wrong things. It takes immense amount of sacrifice, something that I just don't want to do. You know, I want to focus my funds, I want to focus my energy on myself, on my partnership, on my mom. And when you don't want to have kids, that doesn't mean you don't want to impact the next generation. Like, I fully plan on creating a scholarship fund. Love to send 2 to 3 women to Spelman every single year. There's definitely things. I feel like right now I'm impacting women. I'm impacting young women. I'm impacting women my age. I'm impacting women older than me. So me impacting generations, me impacting this world can come in other forms than having a kid. How to be an it girl on a budget. I posted that video. I will include it right here. It said, am I in a sorority? Yes, I am. I am a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, the first and the finest. I crossed at Spelman College, Mu Pi chapter. My mom is an AKA. She crossed at U of I in 1976 or 8. Yeah, if I had a daughter, she would be an AKA as well. Tips for a long distance relationship. So in this period of my life, I am in a long distance relationship. Honestly, every single relationship I've been in has had some form of long distance. I, for right now, prefer it. I prefer it. I think I'm an only child. My quality time as like a love language is just not up there. I'm an acts of service, words of affirmations type of girly. It just works for me and my boyfriend right now. My boyfriend and I right now, I would love to be on a once every 3 week schedule, but now we're on like once a month just because we both travel so much right now. But I like getting my stuff done throughout the weeks, every 2 weeks or whatever, and then having really intentional time with my partner, whether it be a trip, you know, whether it be a calm weekend in Atlanta, he lives in Boston, whatever it might be, it feels really, really intentional. It feels very, very planned. Also, our communication is on point. You have to be a good communicator in a long distance relationship. Also, in this time period of my life, it really allows me to focus on my goals and focus on myself and still. It's almost how people say, you know, to be grateful that you're single because, you know, one day you're going to be married with kids. You're going to have to deal with a whole bunch of other people. It's kind of how I feel like in a long distance relationship right now. Like, I still have my space. I'm trying to soak up this time period in my life. So long distance just works for me right now. It's another thing that we talked about before we entered a relationship. Like, when is long distance gonna end? I think long distance takes a financial commitment. It takes a communication commitment. Takes a lot of loyalty and trust. But it also needs to have an end date, in my opinion. You can't just say we're just gonna do long distance. We have an end date of when this is gonna end based off of timelines, certain goals and everything like that. Someone said, what are affordable spas do I recommend in Atlanta? The Soul Spa. I love, 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 love the Soul Spa. I would also recommend going on Groupon and ClassPass as well. I have a link, I don't know if it's like a month free or 2 weeks free, down in my description for ClassPass if you want to check it out. Someone said, was I more shy or more introverted prior to becoming an influencer and being on camera often? And how soon did I begin to gain success offers from brand opportunities? Okay, was I shy prior? I wouldn't say I was shy. I would say that I thought people assumed of me, so I just wouldn't speak. Does that make sense? So I feel like I've always felt beautiful and I've always felt attractive, but I'm also smart. I'm very smart. And I and I would just assume sometimes when people met me, it's just like, oh, this just this pretty black girl, she doesn't know that much. Or, you know, they would find out that I was smart and they'd just like, oh, this girl thinks she has everything. So I would assume that that was their assumptions of me. So I wouldn't even like feed into it. I would just become quiet. Not because I'm naturally shy, just because I didn't want to prove anybody right. I was trying to remain neutral. So I was but if you knew me personally, I'm very outgoing. I'm like this. I'm very outgoing. I'm very bubbly and everything like that. I think becoming an influencer and being on camera and seeing negative comments, seeing positive comments equally has given me a lot of confidence that, you know, I no longer kind of like hide behind assumptions. Assumptions are fake. You know, I don't assume that you think anything of me. I assume that I'm given a clean slate, whether that's the case or not, and I show up as my authentic self. Even be an influencer, you have to show vulnerability. You have to show up as your authentic self, or else you're not gonna build a community. I mean, I look at influencers now and I wanna feel connected to you. I wanna feel like we have some commonalities. I wanna feel like in another lifetime, like you could be my friend, you know? How soon did I begin to gain success and offers from brands? So I started off on TikTok. I probably uploaded every single day for about like 5 months straight, which sounds crazy, but I honestly just fell in love with it. I started being really serious with it in August. Probably got my first brand deal around November, but it was not paid. I think my paid brand deal started to come around like December, all off of TikTok. Someone said, do I think marriage and kids are important at 27? No. I only ask because I'm 27. I feel an internal and external pressure to have that all sorted, although I'm not ready. No, not at all. I feel like there's a whole trend nowadays of like women not wanting to have kids, women waiting. Also, I should caveat this. My parents are older, so I've always had a very different concept of timelines. I think my mom had me when she was like 42. So my concept of when things are gonna happen, very different. I have a very different concept of when things are going to happen. Not that I want to have kids, but I think because I have that kind of like perspective, I think I have all the time in the world. How do I feel about dating guys who are 10 years older than you? This almost used to be like a requirement for me when I was in my like dating era. There was a time period where it's like I refused to date anybody in their 20s because I have a theory. Listen to my theory. Theory is men in their 20s, rightfully so, are grinding. They're trying to build a foundation. If they're in a corporate America, they're like an analyst or like an associate, like they're a little bit lower. They have a lot to prove. They have a lot to focus on. If they want to provide for a family one day, they need to lock in. Completely understandable. Not for me. Then you get men in their 30s. They're a little bit higher up in their career. Maybe they started a business already, whatever it might be. They start acting like they're in their 20s because they never got to experience all the fun in their 20s. They act crazy. They act childish. When you get to like the later 30s, early 40s, depending on the man, depending on the city, depending on their location, they've had a couple girlfriends. They know how to treat you. They're higher up that they can tell other people what to do. They get it. They get it. So yeah, that's my rationale. There was a long period of time where I would not date men in their 20s. It was just not for me. What are some things that help you stay consistent on your healthy lifestyle journey? I think number one, and I've mentioned this multiple times before, is I attach my identity to a healthy lifestyle. Like I love my identity as like a Pilates princess. Like really in my mind, like I am a Range Rover mom and I go to Pilates and I make my healthy breakfast, my healthy aesthetic breakfast, and then I do my work and I do my work at home, and then I have a chai tea latte, and then I make it really healthy. Like that's my identity. So I don't zero in on, you know, oh, I have to work out, I have to eat healthy. I attach it to this aesthetic. I romanticize it. I see it more as like a lifestyle change. I see it more so as an investment in myself. I think I'm my biggest investment. And I want to live a long life. I want to be able to take care of my mom. You know, I want to live a long life with my partner. And I want to feel good at an older age. It's very, very important to me. I want to feel this good as long as I possibly can. And it all starts now. Someone said in all caps, what is the nail color? I have a nail appointment Thursday and I'm looking for the perfect nude for medium brown girlies. On my nails, the shape of my nails is almond with a point. Almond with a point. I get a clear acrylic and I asked for 2 coats of OPIs, put it in neutral. My toes, I get a French tip and I either get bubble bath or I get put it in neutral. What this allows me to do is this allows me to only get my nails done once a month because it matches my nail bed, and I don't have to get it done all the time. Little cheat code. Someone said, I really love that you don't have a BBL. Why don't you have a BBL? I know it's a shallow question, but I've been wondering for a long time because every influencer now has it. Also, will you get any work done to your body? I don't have a BBL because I don't have enough fat on me to get a BBL. Could I gain the weight? Yes, but I don't think you should ever gain a lot of weight if you're naturally skinny to get a BBL because you're gonna lose it really quickly. I've seen it. I've seen really skinny girls get BBLs, and I see a couple of years later, I was like, where did that go, girl? Why did you spend all of that money? Where did that go? I think a few of these Atlanta influencers that have BBLs have great work done. Child, great. Shout out to that plastic surgeon. Great work done. Can't get a BBL, I don't think, and I don't think I want to. The most I will probably do is I might get a little filler in my hip dips. You can't fix hip dips in the gym. You just can't. It's genetic. But honestly, I love my body. I think being healthy in your version of skinny and your version of, you know, feeling good is in. It's trending. Wellness is trending. I've never really gone into the gym being like, I want a snatched waist and a fat ass. Like, I've never been like that. I've always kind of just wanted to feel good. I've kind of always just wanted to like what I see in the mirror. Obviously, you know, like I want a flat stomach and all of this different stuff, but I kind of just want to feel good day to day. Said, I know you're not in law school, but if you were, how would you incorporate your glow up lifestyle into being a busy student? I'm a med student and I want to glow up into my higher self, but it feels hard with school responsibilities. That is so true. I would first really encourage her to develop a morning routine and an abbreviated morning routine. And when I mean morning routine, I mean I would pick 3 non-negotiables for the morning. And you can do these things in 3 seconds, or maybe it takes you 3 hours. Maybe a non-negotiable looks like moving your body, doing your gratitude journal, and eating a healthy breakfast. Like if you get those 3 things done, that's what works for you. I would really start incorporating walking if you can. Walking during your lunch break, walking before, you know, classes, walking after classes. What walking is gonna do, not only is it gonna snatch you getting those like 10K steps a day if you can, but it also allows you, there's a word for it. It's habit stacking, but I heard another word for it the other day. But it's basically when you walk, you can catch up on friends, you can connect with people, you can listen to podcasts, maybe you can review some flashcards. You are working on yourself physically, but also just being in nature grounds you, and then also doing something like listening to a podcast or talking to a family member, it gets something done at the same time. So I would incorporate a lot more walking. I would get outside more. I would consume a lot of content like this on Glow Up just to keep me motivated, just to keep me on the right path. There's nothing wrong with doing what you can right now. You're gonna get it done in the future, but what can I do right now? Can I walk? Can I spend 5 minutes on my 5-minute journal? Can I make a quick healthy snack? Or maybe that just looks like journaling about your dream life. Maybe that just looks like listening to a sermon and taking notes. What can I do for me right now? Someone said, what made you change, or what made you feel like you had to change? I felt like I had no option. I felt like, go watch my video on how I changed my life. But I felt like when I got that letter from my dad, and I felt like God kind of saved me in that moment, I feel like, how could I forsake myself? How could I throw this life away? Like, God put me on this earth. I must be here for a reason. I must have something to do, some impact. I am going to try so hard every single day to figure out what that is. And I feel like I figured out what this is. It's what I'm doing right now. It's connecting with you. It's impacting women. And then once I found that, I just went 100% with it. I went 100%, you know, what more areas can I do this of? And I feel like that just kind of snowballed. I had no option but to change. I had no option but to become a better me. Someone said, how do you put yourself first while in a relationship? I think that kind of goes back to what I was saying. Like, that's why I love being in a long distance relationship. It's a lot easier for me to put myself first, especially in this critical, you know, being in your 20s, your late 20s. It's very critical for me to put myself first. It's critical to put yourself first, whether you're in a long distance relationship or whether, you know, you're in person. Because if you do not know yourself, that gives somebody the leeway to define you and how you move. I would say if I was like in person with somebody, and how do I prioritize myself? I would be very intentional about communicating and actually following through with having my own space or time to do me. Whether that is just communicating to my partner, hey, you know, on Fridays or on Thursdays or on Wednesday nights, I really want to have a me night. I want to have a self-care night. I want to go to the movies by myself. I want to do something on my own. I want to have a solo date. And if somebody has a problem with that, they are not the person for you. Just really carving out that time to be alone with your thoughts and to get back to you. Someone said you're inspiration for the version of a woman I want to be. Really enjoy your content. Thank you so much, girl. How did I figure out a work schedule that works for you? When you're working for yourself, it's easy to take things day by day, but a schedule is so important to keep us on task. That is so important. I listened to myself. I realized I honestly kind of just leaned into it. It's easier for me because obviously I work for myself. I don't, you know, clock in to anything. I realized a couple things about myself, but I also played around with different schedules. Like 1 week I would try one schedule and I would journal how I felt at the end of that week. Another week I would switch things up. And through that, I really realized, one, I am a morning workout person. I hate working out in the afternoon and I hate working out at night. My good friend, she loves working out at night. It's just not for me. 2, I realized I get my best work done in the morning. I just do. Or late at night, like midday, see me later. 3, I realized I work best and I wake up early. When I wake up at when I'm like a 5:30, 6 a.m. girly, I work my best. Although it feels nicer to wake up at 9:30, I just find I don't get as much done. I feel gross. Like, again, I'm just listening to myself at this point. I also realized that I work best when I pour into myself in the morning, even if that's just doing those 3 non-negotiables. When I don't just roll out of bed and go straight to work, I realized I get a lot more stuff done. I also gave myself grace. I know I don't work well midday. I just don't. So I built in time to take a mini nap, a mini 20, 30-minute nap, because I know I'm gonna need it and I'm not gonna feel bad about it. That's just gonna be part of my day. I figured out when I start to get tired. So I'll have a chai tea latte or I'll take a walk. Taking a midday walk is everything. It really re-energizes me. Those are some things, like I listened to my body, I listened to myself. I stopped fighting like, oh, you should be so productive like 8 hours straight. It's just not how I work. I also work really well in time blocks. I would look up time block productivity on Google, but I really work well in focused amount of times with breaks. And I have about 3 to 4 time blocks in the day, and that's how I don't go crazy. I also content batch, so I don't film on the same days that I edit. I'll film, I'll leave it be, and I'll edit the next day. And my editing are usually my admin days. My filming days are usually my filming days. So I delegated work to not stress myself out. Someone said, how did I find my niche? I never really went into it wanting to find my niche. I think a lot of these successful influencers, they never really set out to be an influencer. They were passionate about something offline. They started using social media as an outlet for that passion, and then started to garner a community of like-minded women, men, whatever it might be, from that passion. So I don't really know what my niche is. I guess wellness and self-care. But I was gonna be obsessed with that off camera. I was gonna be obsessed with that regardless. What tips do I have for meeting people and networking in Atlanta? That's the thing about Atlanta. Atlanta loves community. Atlanta is an extroverted city. There are so many groups, there's so many events, there's so many free events, there's so many, you know, paid for clubs and everything like that. You can find like-minded people all across Atlanta. You really honestly just need to be intentional about it. You know, if you really like painting, taking painting classes, I'm sure you like, you know, working with your hands, taking pottery classes, and going to it by yourself and introducing yourself to a group of women and being vulnerable. People in Atlanta, for the most part, I feel like if you go up to them, they're pretty welcoming. That's just my experience. Obviously you have weirdos, but like, I find that if I'm in a Pilates class and I compliment the girl next to me, and I'm a little bit more intentional about, hey, do you come to this class a lot? You know, after a couple classes, you know, asking for her number and really be intentional about setting something on the calendar. It's easier to make friends that way. What are some of your financial investments that I recommend for beginners in their mid-20s? Definitely getting a Roth IRA, maxing it out if you can. Definitely getting a high yield savings account. I go with Marcus by Goldman Sachs. I would highly recommend that. Using whatever investment apps that you can, consuming a lot of financial content. I'm not like a financial advisor or anything like that, but I do download a couple of finance podcasts, being up to date on what's happening in the world, things like that. Someone's left a very, very sweet message. I won't read the whole thing, but she was just basically saying she wants to like go on her whole glow up journey, but she basically like doesn't know when to do it because she tutors kids. And how do you find the motivation to tutor after your last session? Kind of goes back to what I was talking about before. You have to figure out what can I do for me right now? Like, what can I do for me right now? Does it look like a 10-minute walk outside? Does it look like a 30-minute walk outside? Again, you're gonna hear me say a lot, walking is everything. Does it look like simply a face mask? And setting the bar at first to being like, I just need to do one thing that pours into myself, whether it's making myself a healthy meal, whether it's getting outside, whether it's writing in my 5-minute journal, whether it's reading 10 pages in a book, whether it's listening to a good podcast, whether it's listening to this video and feeling motivated, whether it's treating myself to a face mask or an extra long shower. What is something that I can do for me right now? And when you do that one thing, ruminate on that feeling of what you do afterwards. When you take off that face mask, be like, oh, I feel so good and so clean, and hold on to that feeling. Hold on to that feeling for the next day. And I promise you, bit by bit by bit, it's gonna grow. You're gonna be doing bigger things. You know, instead of a 10-minute walk, you're taking an hour-long walk. Instead of a face mask, all of a sudden you're researching estheticians, you're gonna treat yourself to a spa day. You need to hold on to that feeling, be grateful for that feeling, be grateful that you even showed up for yourself. I hope that helps. Someone said, I hope this isn't too personal, but I've noticed those who have gotten veneers have to restrain themselves with how to speak. Did I experience that? Definitely feel like my speech changed after I got veneers. I could hear it honestly sometimes. I don't care, to be honest with you. I've always had a speech impediment with S's. And I went to a speech therapist for years about it. So I feel like I've come pretty far. Definitely veneers was kind of like a damn, like I have to kind of relearn how to speak again because I'm not used to these size of teeth in my mouth. I kind of had to relearn that. How did I overcome it? I feel like I talked on camera and then I listened to it back and I was like, what needs fixing? But if it really gets that bad, you can definitely get a speech therapist. How do I bridge between how you feel you show up in the world versus how you're actually treated? For example, I feel like I carry myself incredibly well. I put a lot of effort into my hygiene, everything like that. I'm kind and try my best to be understanding and set healthy boundaries, but ultimately I feel invisible in the world. I feel like I should be getting a lot of attention and opportunities, but I don't. People always say to show up in the world how you want to be treated, but what if you do? Basically, what if you do? It's a very, very, very good question. First of all, I'm so proud of you. You are beautiful and you are amazing and you are showing up for yourself. It's kind of hard because, you know, the default answer would be like, don't care about what anybody thinks. You shouldn't be doing this for anybody else. But we're human. It is kind of disheartening when you're pouring so much into yourself and you don't see the benefits from it. You know what I mean? We're human and what you're feeling is okay. I would say it's your environment. You are doing the work. You're doing the work. But you know, as silly as it sounds, you could be making oranges all day to people that only drink lemons. I feel like the issue is in your environment. You have to go where you are appreciated. Whatever corner of the world that you're in, you're obviously doing the work on yourself. Changing your environment will change your life. Again, I have an entire video on this if you want to default to that. Banning your friends, maybe is losing some friends. Maybe you have to take a second look at your relationship, your job, your city. Maybe you live in a very cold climate and you're meant to live in a hot climate in a different country. Maybe you need to make that move. Whatever it may be, don't change the trajectory that you're on. You are doing great, but you can't be doing great in an environment that is not for you. Someone asked, how did I find the material and the confidence to put myself out there? How long did I take before seeing my success on YouTube? So what I will say is my success on YouTube, I don't think is tied to my success on TikTok. I found that my TikTok and my Instagram, a lot of my followers didn't come over here on YouTube. I don't know why, but I feel like my YouTube growth has been very, very organic. I started off with the weekly vlogs because I thought, you know, that's what all the Atlanta girlies did. And they weren't getting much views. And then I sat down and I talked to the camera and I realized that that got views. And I should have known that because, you know, on all of my other platforms, I'm known for my advice, I'm known for my tips. That's what works for me. Of course, that's gonna work on YouTube. So once I saw those type of videos do well, I kind of really just leaned into it. I also responded to a lot of comments and made sure I was consistent. You know, on YouTube, consistency is everything. And consistency is everything in the sense of nobody is just gonna sit and watch a 30, 40-minute video if they don't feel connected with you. So once they feel connected with you, if you're not consistent, it almost feels like, okay, I just made a new friend and now they're not texting me back. If you're gonna really do this, you have to remain consistent because it's like maintaining a friendship with you all. I was really, really intentional about being consistent on YouTube once I felt like TikTok and Instagram were like a well-oiled machine. And honestly, with the subscribers and viewers, I never really looked at it. I don't know if that's just because I had other platforms to rely on financially, so whatever, YouTube didn't work. But I found that even with like less subscribers and YouTubers, I don't know, I always just imagine, even if I were to get 3 comments or 1 comment, I get shocked when one person compliments me in real life in the day. I can't imagine 3 people in a line coming up and complimenting me, or 4 people or 10 people. So, you know, I see every single comment as a person, and I was super, super grateful, and I created discourse and with that comment, and I really, really listened to my channel and I really listened to my community because I think I've always just shown up authentic and grateful, and God and the universe is always going to reward you for showing up as authentic. Don't be thinking you have to lean into these get ready with me's and these weekly vlogs. Try out a little bit of everything, and whatever you find success in, listen to that and lean into that. Dating tips for professional women in their mid-20s. The apps aren't doing anything in my area, and I'm also very mature for my age. Isn't dating so hard nowadays? Oh my gosh. Oh, when I hear like my friends' stories, I'm like, this is insane. And I would think that dating apps would work because you'd be able to really filter who's serious and who's not based on like profile, whatever. First thing I would do is, I know you said no apps, but I would recommend downloading maybe the League. I think it's a little bit more serious on there. I think you have to like literally link your LinkedIn to it. A little bit more professional out there. I would join organizations that have both genders in them. I would lean into the church. I would go outside, girl. Outside. And when I mean outside, I mean professional networking events. I would maybe lean into hobbies you wouldn't think of, like golf. You could even go to the cigar lounge, girl. Really putting yourself out there while still doing the work within yourself. Advice for starting content creation while having a full-time job. I struggle with staying consistent. This is what you're gonna do. You're gonna start content batching. Content batching is when you film a whole bunch of content on 1 or 2 days and you space it out throughout the week. If you have a full-time job on Saturday and Sunday, at least for a month, try this out. I would treat it like another full-time job, and I would start at 8 a.m. and I would end at 8 p.m. Try to get 10 short form videos or maybe 2 long form videos. And I would do that back to back. So by the end of the weekend, you maybe have 4 YouTube videos, or maybe you have 20 TikToks or IG reels. And then I would post one once a day. And then once you get to Saturday and Sunday, you have 5 that are gone, or maybe you have 1 YouTube video already posted and you already have something in your repertoire. That's what I would do for content batching. Tell us about your experience living in Atlanta, like pros and cons. I love it here, to be honest. I've been here for 10 years now. I went to undergrad, law school, and business school here. I love the community here. I love how you can be Black and start a business. I don't know, I found my little pocket of peace here. I get why so many people come down hard on Atlanta, but honestly, I love it so much. I'm definitely going to move in the next year or so. And I will be very sad to leave because I'm like looking out of my like window. I love it here. I love it here so much. I love the restaurants. I love the development here. It feels good here. A lot of these are financial tips, and I have a video posted on that. I'll include that right there. Someone said, how can I get out of my lazy girl era? After COVID, I became such a homebody and feel unmotivated. What a good question. Maybe I should create a whole other video. Like this video, I should create a video on how to get out of your lazy girl era. Maybe that should just be a whole different video, but very, very high level, how to get out of your lazy girl era. First thing I would do is, you're labeling yourself as a homebody. No more. No more. Because what happens? You label yourself, you identify yourself, and you start to align your actions towards that. Just how you're labeling yourself as a homebody, you need to start labeling yourself as an outside girly, as a healthy lifestyle girly, as a girl that just goes for it. Aligning daily action to that and start showing up as her. Sometimes it really looks like, okay, tomorrow I'm a Pilates princess. That's the end of it. What does that look like? That looks like downloading class passes. It looks like start researching Pilates classes. That looks like waking up an hour early and turning on the TV and doing some mat Pilates at home, and then eating healthy breakfast and making myself a cute drink midday, and maybe ordering some cute sets on Amazon. And all of a sudden you have this new wardrobe, and all of a sudden you're exercising, and all of a sudden you're eating healthy, all because you started identifying yourself with this new identity. No more labeling yourself as a homebody. No more labeling yourself as unmotivated or lazy. I'm a motivated woman, and I get what I want, and I go after what I want. Once you start constantly telling yourself and affirming yourself every single morning while you're brushing your teeth, every single night, and being grateful for how much progress you're making every single day, even if it's just 1%, you start aligning your daily action towards that. That's very, very high level. Like this video if I should make a video on how to get out of your lazy girl era. Girl, I really hope you liked this question and answers video. These were all YouTube comments, and Instagram comments were in the previous video, but I loved this. I love giving advice. Someone recommended that I do like a What Would Jaz Do? Like this video if I should do that, because I love talking with y'all. But I need to go pick up Benji. I gotta go, girl. But thank you for hanging out with me. Subscribe if you haven't already. Like this video, and I will see you in the next video. Comment something down below. I would love to chit chat. If you have any questions from this video, go ahead, go on Instagram, DM me. Let's chit chat. I love you so much. Thank you so much for supporting me, and I'll catch you later. Bye, girl.
I bet if I give all my love, then nothing's gonna tear us apart.